Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Madhouse RPG Presents Cyberpunk Red Beyond the Blackwall Shattered Dawn, a Cyberpunk Red Let's Play. I am, of course, your GM, Maddie Matihi or Matihi. You can find me on Twitch at Matihi and, of course, on Twitter at Maddie Matihi. Before we kind of get into it, I do want to also shout out that later in the week, if you are looking to catch more amazing shows that are here on Madhouse RPG. Of course, tomorrow we have Ashes of New Amsterdam, followed by on Friday we have another episode of The Lion's Den, and on Monday we have part 2 of the All the Witches special. So there's always lots of content coming on here, so make sure to check out, tune in, and just stay tuned. Just hang out. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. But of course, I would not be this would not be a game without my wonderful, amazing players that I'm so very excited to introduce today. So we are going to go over and we are going to be.
There we go. Hello, hello. My name is B. My pronouns are they, them, and I don't what do I get to share?
I guess share whatever you'd like.
Yeah. Well, I'll just give y'all a little sampler. I'm going to be playing a rocker boy named Lavender Rest. He, they pronouns, and I'm just heckin' excited. Cyberpunk's a system I've never actually spent the time to play, and I've played way too many systems, so I think this is gonna be amazing.
So very excited to have you. And next up, we have Dare.
Hi, I'm Dare, pronouns she, they, they. You can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet at Dare to Dream RPG. DARE, the number 2, DREAM, RPG. See, you caught me with that. I'm not used to other people being so ready for it. I'm going to be a netrunner, and I'm going to be totally fine and normal. The most normal. Super, super normal.
Super duper normal, of course. And next up, we have Fabian.
Howdy, howdy. My name is Fabs. You know me as storyteller for Ashes of New Amsterdam. I also play Chester in The Lion's Den. I'm also a producer over here. So if you see things without my face, I'm probably there as well, just running it in the background. Today I'm going to be running. I'm going to be playing Badger, netrunner / getaway driver. Yeah, he's just a little guy, just a sweet little guy.
His first day, just a little guy.
This is his first day.
And next up, we have C.
Hello everyone, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at PieSharpArt. Tonight I have the absolute pleasure of playing Hal, or Hal.0, also known as Halo, who uses they, she pronouns and will be your medtech for the evening, which is basically like a necromancer but faster. So that's cool. Don't worry about it. I think they're actually more normal than Dare's character. So just jot that down to start, everyone.
I love lying at the beginning of a game.
Mm-hmm. Lying is my favorite activity.
Fantastic. And last but not least, my lovely co-GM, Candace.
Hi everybody, Candace, also known as Candace the Magnificent. My pronouns are they, she, and I am playing the NPC, Red. Red is a really adorable, yet stoic and withholding person. She, they pronouns.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone. I'm so very excited for us to dig into the world of Cyberpunk Red and for us to get started in Night City. But, and of course, if you would like, within the chat, you can also use !SD, !SDcast, as well as !CW for our content warnings. But without further ado...
Oh, before that...
Oh, please, yes.
The viewers can also help out the Edgerunners. Every $5 gives the player of your choice a reroll. We might need that. You can also do 500 bits. Every $20, 2,000 bits gives a player of your choice an auto success. So, yeah, if you see that we're about to cry, you can do that for us. But yeah, back to you, Piper.
Yes. So Before we get into our game this evening, we kind of pan away from the top of Night City where we see the various smog covering the buildings. We see that there are different billboards that are shot up into the sky. But we start zooming in on one of the tall, looming structures within Night City itself. And we see it gets darker and darker, though the illumination of these billboards kind of just fills the sky still with light pollution. We see it's almost like a lighthouse of light passing over these large windows of a penthouse as we see shattered glass kind of pull in, turning. We just see the odd silhouette of individual, the lights passing over as it's just dark figures in various poses, almost slow motion going through the events of what's transpiring in this penthouse. We see glasses shattered in the penthouse itself. We see an individual falling backwards, kind of reaching out forward, trying to grab onto a person standing in front of the window, just staring down at them. We go further inside and we see someone kind of sprawled out, laying on the ground, pressing against what looks like a long metal object as someone looms over them, pressing it deeper and deeper into their hands. As we pan around this room, it is well furnished. There are plush couches that have been torn up by gunfire. There are tables that are overturned. We see dark spots on the ground where it's assumed that blood has kind of pooled and collated. To the side, standing by a wall, we see another individual kind of holding onto their head, throwing it back in pain. As it seems someone from across the room is almost targeting, staring daggers straight at them. And finally, another individual, arms spread out towards the door, where a long hair kind of tied up into a messy bun. Another silhouette stands, outstretched hand with a handgun. And so we see all these tableaus and these silhouettes of potentially what is to come. We start to pull back and back as time begins to rewind. We see flashes of various events that had previously occurred. We see fights between two individuals. We see meetings within dark, shady hallways. We see someone getting chased on a moped, and we pull back, until we now sit. It is bright daylight out in the Badlands. There's dust kicking up in the tires of this large, kind of beaten down van. We see upon the side, it says ice cream with a kind of this very strange costumed ice cream mascot individual. Its eyes have almost been kind of crossed out as someone has keyed this van before. Rust chunks almost fall out from below the van itself as it moves through the Badlands. And we pan inside the van itself. There seems to be 6 individuals who are currently in here scattered about. One in the driver's seat, one with his feet up on top of the dashboard, kind of leaning back, his long brown hair with a single streak of white kind of cascading over the back of the chair itself. But before we get to them, we pan into the back seats as it's kind of like almost like bench seating here in the back with the various individuals that are equipping themselves up, getting ready for their most recent gig. As we pan around to the various individuals sitting in the back, Lavender, who are you and what are you up to?
I mean, I'm not working, if that's what you're asking. But Lavender Rest is handsome, enigmatic, talented, charismatic, smart, thoughtful. You know, all of the really positive adjectives that you could think to describe anybody that you idolize, that's Lavender Rest. He is tall, lean, light brown skin with dreads that haven't necessarily been taken care of at the roots. All of his hair is kind of pushed back to keep out of his face, where he has these, I think, telltale glasses. The the pink round glasses, I think, might be his signature look. And he's wearing a sequined crop top and low-rise jeans with boots that are kind of what do you call the crisscross, strapped up halfway to let's say halfway to his knees.
Nice. And this trip is bumpy. There is
Mhm.
no there's nothing that's stopping you from feeling the road below you. You have to like, almost sit up a little bit as you feel yourself bouncing on like every single rock, every single dip in the road. It is uncomfortable to be sitting here. This vehicle's not what you signed up for today.
Why is this our ride again? Can somebody tell me?
You hear a voice call from up front, of a deeper, more masculine voice saying, "It's what we could get, and it's what we were given. It's
Ice
fine.
cream truck.
We're almost there."
Oh, I can feel my spine rattle. If my spine doesn't work, then you gotta pay a lot.
We'll just get it. It's fine. Like, we'll deal with it
Mhm.
later.
Mm-hmm.
And as Lavender and the person up front argue, we pan across from Lavender, sitting down. Badger, who are you, and what are you up to?
See Badger, you see this kind of meek, young kind of guy just sitting at the back, probably sandwiched between two others, and kind of fidgeting a little bit. He's like, "Yeah, I'm with Lavender. Should I just have brought my own ride? Like, at least would have been a little more spacious."
Oh, do you want like a pillow or something for your butt? Is that gonna help?
I'll take a pillow.
Okay, and you just hear this whizzing as a very dense pillow flies over and just socks you right in the face.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yep.
And look, I don't mean to complain. I know I'm like new here, but comfort isn't really a bad thing, I guess.
We can have comfort when we get paid more.
I
You
mean,
kids got the right idea, though.
yeah, okay.
The vehicle should at least have shock absorbing wheels.
God,
Something so I don't feel every single bump in the road.
it wasn't our choice to take this van. And as the infighting continues, we pan over to next to Badger, and we see Checkmate. Who are you, and what are you up to?
I think the thing you see first is a cyber hand. As just with the flick of a thumb, Checkmate starts a small fire and begins to take a puff of a cigarette. As you focus in, you see they are black, androgynous. Their hair is in sort of purple bantu knots. You can see some lines of like cyberware along their face, and if you were to look into their eyes, you'll notice that sometimes it's purple, but most of the time there's hints of blue, as if they're always somewhere else, sort of looking in, checking on stuff, focusing more on their cyberware, monitoring it, checking up on their programs, and they're just sort of listening to everything, almost, I don't want to say above it all, but they definitely aren't entertaining it. It's fine. One bumpy car ride won't kill anyone.
There is a large bump in the road that actually jostles you almost off the bench.
Okay, well, it doesn't have to be great, but it still won't kill anyone.
Mm-hmm. Tell
You
that
need
to
a-
the thousands of people that die on these roads.
That's normally not what kills them.
I
Bullets
mean, I
tend
don't
to
read
do
beyond
that.
the headline. Come on.
Do you really think it's just the roads?
Or gun violence? Yeah.
Well, you say it like we aren't part of the violence.
On the roads. Yeah.
And finally, we pan over, sitting across from Checkmate, and we see Hal. Who are you and what are you up to?
You both know that it takes approximately 3,000 newtons of force to fracture a spine, right? I promise the bumpy road isn't gonna do much for you. And we pan up to see this person with their hand like resting over a book, which I think has an anatomical diorama of a spine in it, right? That's kind of like almost lifted off the page and these like this like light halo above it. And on this hand resting on like the spine of this book, we see pale, kind of washed out skin, like somebody who has not been out in the sun in way too long. And they have anatomical tattoos on this like shimmering light form of their skeletal system etched on top of their hand. Like their phalanges, the tarsals, the metatarsals, all the way up, every single bone, radius, ulna, humerus, kind of etched into their skin as we like pan up, up, up. And we come to this kind of like sharp, sullen face of Hal, this like bone white hair kind of pushed over, up and over their head, these really dark, sunken, tired looking eyes that kind of like flick around like the interior of this van, rest for a moment on Checkmate before flicking back down to the page that they were reading before. They've got on this big white like doctor's coat that is almost like maybe 3 sizes too big for them. And there is just a ton of bags with medical equipment just kind of like strapped on them at all points. And they wear the symbol of a medic kind of like etched into some of the patterns of their clothes. Hal leans back and lets that fun fact sink in.
Your bedside manner is a little lacking, Hal.
Bedside manner doesn't mean much. You know that as well as I do.
Well, it's a good thing we're not in a bed. And you see the camera pan up and with their feet kicked up onto the dashboard of the van, still bouncing around, but they're seeming to kind of almost used to it at this point. We see Ghost. They kind of have kind of a medium brown skin, indigenous. They have a slight kind of an EMP threading scar over one of their eyes in this almost sparkly white color that seems to shimmer in the light as it comes in through the van. They wear almost what look to be kind of black raver pants, a lot of different straps and jingly bits that kind of hang from it, and they're a bit wider and more loose fitting, whereas on top they have a kind of this white turtlenecked crop top that is very much hugging their very lean and thin figure. Kind of along the sides of their pants, you see various knives that are all sorted, going downwards from large to small, as well as kind of propped up a large sword, just kind of balanced against the dashboard as well. Ghost being the kind of second in command. And as everyone would in the crew would probably notice, maybe except Badger, is hopelessly in love with the individual who is currently driving. Red, why don't you describe yourself and who you are?
You kind of hear a bit of a growl from the front seat, very tightly wound voice say, "It's a lot of bitching, not a lot of working. We don't have long before we get there. Are you even prepared?" Very tight. Fingers are gripped in like kind of a white knuckle kind of stance. Moto gloves with no fingers in them, kind of trained on the wheel. As this very petite person, it almost looks like they have like a little bit of like a cushion underneath them right now to like get them up to the height they need to be driving this oversized vehicle. Red is kind of vaguely Germanic featured, fair-skinned, white trans femme. She has an undercut with like a really nice kind of sharp and stylish haircut, blonde hair with a little bit of like wisps of color here and there. Her eyes are focused almost in a searing stare on the road, kind kind of every so often kind of darting around, taking in the whole of their surroundings instead of just kind of focusing directly on the street and like the road in front of them, making sure that they can kind of intercept any trouble that might come the group's way. As all of this kind of bickering is happening, they barely register it. They don't kind of, you know, do the dad yell in the back where like somebody gets threatened. They're just like eyes just on the road. And anytime y'all get to kind of louder than they might have liked, they kind of throw a glance over at Ghost like, can you say something, please? I'm obviously trying to work. They're about 5 feet tall, and they wear little spiked heeled boots to give themselves more of a presence. But because of their demeanor, they honestly don't even really need it. They are exceptionally, I don't know, they have a presence that kind of radiates around them. A little bit. They don't have to say a lot.
Mm-hmm.
One of those.
Never admit it, but definitely Red's intimidating.
Yes.
And we get a quick glimpse as Red turns the wheel to the right and kind of going off on another dirt road. There are many cars who are kind of, not many, but sparse cars who are kind of flowing through the Badlands, going out and inside of Night City. A lot of people who are kind of running various things that are not supposed to be kind of crossing the border, but they are smuggling them over. Various nomads, of course, in the area who kind of run these sorts of operations. But you're now in an area where there's not really any vehicles, and you just all hear kind of the hum and the clanging of this van as you go. You see Ghost put his feet off the dashboard and move around and straddle kind of the position between both the passenger and the driver's seat to look at the group of you, and says, "All right, is everyone clear on what's going on? I can go over it again and look specifically to you, Badger." Of course not. All right, for Badger and, of course, Lavender.
Yeah.
Okay, when we're getting there, there's essentially going to be a Raffin group who's there. They've stolen some data from Militech, and we are supposed to get it back. There's some sort of laptop hidden somewhere. Badger, checkmate. I'm assuming you two can find it. We're probably going to meet some resistance, so let's prepare for that a little bit. It's not going to be the friendliest.
Try not to make a mess, please. I'm obviously gonna stay out here. I'll look out. I'll have your backs, but we don't need a fucking mess, guys. All right, please be on your best behavior for the kid. And gestures over at Badger.
Badger does the awkward like straight line smile, like.
Yeah, Badger will be fine, I'm sure. All I remember you saying is resistance, so we're just encountering. You know what? I'm sure somebody else took notes. I'm ready.
General rule of thumb: try not to die.
Yeah, obviously.
Make my life a little bit easier, please.
Yeah.
Also, avoid bullets.
It costs a bit to replace you, as we have to replace our last person. So best not to die.
Looks over at Badger. Replacement?
Badger is fully a replacement from the last individual that you previously had in the party, Cherry.
Sweats.
Unfortunately, Cherry was very excited to have joined your crew, was not staying around, unfortunately, for too long, as there was
Not by their
stray
choice.
bullets that she caught. R.I.P. Cherry. But Badger's here now to fill that void.
You notice that Badger fidgets with like their bag, and they pull out this air respirator that's all blacked out, and just wears it and kind of like engages it with his cyber deck, and you see a Badger skull kind of digitize on the thing, and just start calibrating his cyber deck.
Nice.
That looks fancier than yours, checkmate.
It's good tech. I prefer the classics.
Old ugly stuff. Barely
Practical,
works.
vintage. But
Vintage, right.
I mean-
So, what is the plan again?
You say, what's the plan again? You start finding yourself as the windows darken, as Red, you begin driving inside of a cave. You see that the walls are all craggy, but you see lines of cables that are going into this cave, snaking through. You see kind of different kind of barrels and crates and such that are stacked up on the side that, Red, you have to slow down a little bit to make sure that you don't hit any. There are various sparse lighting that's strung up along the ceiling here, as it almost feels like this is going on for almost ever. Until you finally see that the area begins to open up slightly and you see more light pouring in. And you see in front of you, as you kind of slow down the vehicle, you all feel it finally come to a stop. The shaking ceases. And you see in front of you, you don't see anybody just yet, but there looks to be a farther outreach of the cavern as it continues forward, but this is a large, expansive section. You can see that it almost looks like kind of cargo containers have been placed in here, placed into the walls itself. You see various scaffolding that seems to be holding up almost like construction parts within this area. It continues further around the right side of this kind of internal cave space, but you're unable to see exactly what's over there. But what does catch your eye is these various cables that kind of string through this entire complex. Almost like they look rideable if you had some sort of grappling hook or something like that, or pulley system. You could kind of ride them throughout, but they seem to be strung up almost like a little kind of moving, like, village sort of thing. People want to go from one side to the other, they can very quickly. So this is what you witness right now. Ghost looks at all of you and says, right, as Red said, make sure to get the data, make sure not to die, and get back here quick. Got it?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
All right. And you hear that the sliding door of the van begins to open. There's a little bit of a creak, but Ghost opens it fairly quietly before almost disappearing out of the door.
I think Hal is the next one out. They just kind of like take it slow, take it quiet, and creep out as well.
You begin to creep out, and you can hear echoing voices coming from deeper within this cave expanse. You can't really discern exactly what they're saying, but it's definitely kind of heavily French accented as they are talking to one another. So how you kind of leave the van. Who's next?
I think I'll leave next.
I gotta stretch first. You know how it is.
Yeah, I think I also hit a quick, like, just kind of roll my neck. I think my hand does a full, like, 360 rotation.
Nice.
So I just make sure I'm ready, and I think hit a, like, crouch as well.
Badger follows immediately and just says, like, hey, I don't really agree with them. I think your tech is really cool. I think it's much better. I just, like, I don't really do cyberware, so, like, you know, I hope you don't mind. Like, I didn't mean
You're
any
fine.
offense.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You're allowed to express yourself through your tech just as much as I am.
Yeah. I think that cyber arm is amazing.
Just a hand for now. I don't know if I want the full arm. This is the right level of useful without getting too garish. I'm not trying to become a full Borg.
Yeah. I mean, if you need help looking for hardware, just let me know, and I'll, like, I know people at the night market. We can, you know,
I might take you up on that one day.
Yeah,
But,
awesome.
Stay focused real quick.
Hey, Jan, are you two done being best friends? Come on, what are we waiting for? Let's get out of here.
Lavender.
Lavender's done stretching.
Lavender, do you
the-
want to be a distraction?
I think as the rest of you like start to kind of talk, Red pulls Checkmate aside. Your instincts aren't wrong. You're doing great. I trust you. New kid might need a hand till he finds his footing. You're good. Yeah?
Yeah. Reminds me of me a little bit, so I'll make sure that he stays safe and doesn't run into the wrong crowd. And I think when I say wrong crowd, there's a slight just look over to Halo.
All right. You know, we're gonna keep it professional, at least until later.
I can
And
always keep it professional.
I think you feel kind of like warm fingertips just above your cybernetic hand, and their face softens for a second. Not something that happens often, but they kind of look at you meaningfully. You get it.
Yeah.
Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye out for me and the kid.
Lavender, you get a very generous smile.
That's so perfect.
It feels earned.
So the group of you start kind of creeping forward, and you see various bits of debris that are kind of in the area, where places that you could potentially, if you want to hide or something, you can kind of crouch behind it. And as you move forward, you see that there are individuals kind of moving through these crates that are embedded into the wall. And you saw that one that was on the left, but as you move forward and you look more into the space, you see that there is another, almost directly, slightly adjacent, opposite to where you are as well. And you see three individuals kind of pacing and walking, and a few of them chatting away to each other, one of them leaning completely away from you against one of the windows that's there. You see a cable directly exiting the window, kind of going down towards where you're all standing. You also see another bit of scaffolding all the way to the right, where you see some other individuals who are moving around. They're moving boxes. They're laughing and chatting with each other. You can tell they're telling jokes. You can definitely tell that they have a lot of dust-covered outfits, various kind of bits of cloth over their face, goggles on to kind of cover up if they decide to kind of leave here, if there's a sandstorm, that sort of thing. They're very prepared and well stocked. You also see inside here numerous Militech crates that are based kind of around. Some of them are open, some of them are still closed, indicating, based on the information that you had acquired previously, that they had taken over and kind of raided a Militech shipment. You can see evidence of that just scattered about. No one seems to have noticed you just yet. But what would you like to do as you see this scene here?
Can we listen in?
Yeah, of course. So it's pretty far away. So either you can make a perception check to try and hear them, or if you want to do lip reading, if you want to try and gauge what they're saying. Yeah.
Cool, yeah. My character speaks French, so
Perfect.
that doubly works out.
Incredible. So yeah, so roll me that if you want perception or lip reading, please.
Outcome, that is going to be a 12.
A 12 and then an 18 for Halo. Does Hal
They were perceptioning.
So I will say, Lavender, it's somewhat hard to fully see exactly kind of what they're talking about. They're definitely kind of telling various jokes to one another. They seem to be, kind of pushing each other on the shoulder, kind of joshing around a bit. But Hal, you seem to kind of key in and tune in, and they are doing this mix of kind of going between kind of Quebecois French and then back to kind of English in this kind of mixed jokes with one another. And they stop for a moment, and you can kind of hear, as you're really maintaining focus, they're saying, so are we gonna make sure that we get the contact? It's like, yeah, we've got the contact. We're gonna get this all sorted out in what, an hour or so. I think they're coming here to pick it up. It's like, I haven't been paid out in so long. I just really, really, really want to go into the city. That'd be nice. It's like, why do you want to go in the city? And they start just completely harassing one another. But as you kind of listen in, you gauge that it seems to be potentially up in that kind of crate area that's directly opposite from you. What you're looking for seems to be in there from what they're talking about.
Hal leans back a little bit and kind of low underneath their voice goes, we have about an hour to get what we need. And they gesture, and I think it's up there.
That's what you got? I thought they were just cracking really inappropriate jokes.
I've been around enough inappropriate jokes to know what the underlying meaning to all of those things are.
What? What do I not know? Huh. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, up there. That's where we're going. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna contemplate this for a little bit.
GM, is there a check that Badger can do to maybe hack into a camera system to gauge how many people we're dealing with?
Yes, indeed. So in regards to your kind of abilities that you do have, what you can do with your interface skill, it's basically a scanning skill. So you're essentially trying to find a node to try and hack into the architecture to try and see if you can get a hold of, camera or something that's around. But go ahead and for the third roll of the game, make me, you'll roll me an interface check. So a D10 plus whatever your interface level is.
Interface level, okay.
Your rollability level, yeah.
I also have a range upgrade. I don't know if I don't know if that helps.
I will say it will help in this situation. Yeah, be a little bit far.
That's a 9 plus my rank is 4.
4, so 13 altogether. So you kind of use your equipment and you see that overlay of the of your virtuality goggles. You're looking about and you see that there are there looks to be a camera at the very top, and you see it kind of swiveling and looking around. You see almost what looks like a very fine, almost thread of a line that seems to be digitally moving down, and you see very close to your location, probably about maybe 8 meters or so away, you do see an area where you could potentially get into their net architecture if you wanted to hook yourself in.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So you wander over and you hook yourself into the net, and as you do, for kind of the net overlay, as you're seeing within your virtuality goggles, what does the net look like for Badger?
For Badger, the net overlay looks it's kind of goofy. It does look like it's like this popular 1980s video game about an Italian plumber from New York who goes down to a land of mushrooms and tries to save a princess. And you notice that there are like tiny like honey badgers from a video from the early 2000s about badgers dancing with mushrooms. And you see that Badger looks like, while everything is like very sweet and cartoony, Badger looks like a honey badger, like a straight up like gangly, dirty honey badger. That every time he moves within the space, it kind of messes up things and destroys things.
So as the scrungly looking honey badger is kind of wandering around through virtuality, you see what looks like a little person. They seem to have kind of this big mushroom hat, and they're kind of jumping up and down, trying to get your attention, waving their little hand towards you.
Yeah, I approach it.
Like, hey, go in here! And there's like a little pipe that leads down.
Okay. I crawl down the pipe.
You're easily able to kind of go down the pipe.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Whoop, 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 as you land into the first level of the architecture. As you look around this area, you don't see too much. But what you can do, if you want to kind of take a look ahead to see if there's any enemies that might be lying in wait, you can use Pathfinder to essentially try and figure out what lies ahead.
Okay.
Which would be another interface rule.
Sure.
I think maybe as this is happening, Hal has a gigantic sniper rifle that is nearly the size of them, strapped across their back, and they've taken it out and they're like using the scope to help Lavender Rust like see and lip read a little bit more to be able to see their faces a little more clearly. So they're going like, and look, that dirty joke, it means that, they have probably been, secretly in love for the last 3 years, probably, if I had a estimate about it. So
How did you... I don't understand. That is not a single word that they said. Not even one.
I know people.
Like, Jello was involved. Sure, I'm gonna take your word for it because you know people in a weird way. Like their insides.
It's the closest
It'll look
way to know
nervously
anyone.
around.
Hey, go ahead.
So you said Pathfinder.
Yes.
I don't know if there is, if I have like the program Worm, I don't know if Backdoor is also possible.
Backdoor is for kind of if you find something that's more of like that's passworded when it comes to like notes and even just passwords in general, you would use Backdoor in that case.
Okay, no worries. So I rolled a 7 + 4.
7 + 4, so 11. Yeah, you're able to see down about 3 levels of this architecture. You can see it's almost like rooms in a sense, or worlds. So you can see into world 1, 2, 1, 3, and so forth. 1, 3 does look to have what looks like a little skunk that's kind of patrolling the area, from what you know. But you do see down into level 4, which there does look to be a camera control that's there. There's like a little control office that you can kind of peer through and potentially get a hold of, but there doesn't seem to be any black ice that's there.
Do I have to get through this skunk?
Yes. You can either choose to fight the skunk or you can choose to slide past it.
I have something. I mean, I'm gonna use I guess I'm gonna use Banhammer.
Okay, before we get to that, as you're kind of traversing through the net architecture, what is Checkmate up to?
There was scaffolding here, correct?
Yes, there's scaffolding kind of all around that seems to almost be slightly holding up these various what are they called? Shipping crates that are embedded into these walls. They're kind of like a secondary support.
I think my idea is getting higher up in the air. So climbing on these to sneak around from above.
All right, so you kind of depart from the group and starting to sneak forward. There is 2 checks that I would like you to make. Depending how well you do on the first check will potentially aid the second one. So first I would like you to roll me, if only this would show me, stealth, please.
Athleticism? Oh.
Yeah.
15 for stealth.
A 15 is very good. It doesn't seem like anyone's noticing you just yet. As you kind of creep through, you hide behind some of these various crates and other boxes that are around and continue to sneak through, eventually getting close enough to the scaffolding where you can climb. So make me an athletics check. I'm going to give you a +1 on this as you begin to kind of scale up.
With the +1, 18.
Very nice. So you are up at the top. Are you going to the one that's the crate that's directly across from you that you know that potentially the information's contained in?
I think so.
Okay. So you kind of scale up there, and as you get to the top, it's very easy for you, but you peer inside the window that's there, and you see there are kind of 3 individuals that seem to be in this zone. One of them has their back towards you. They seem to be leaned down, checking something on the floor. You see another that's back is against the window, talking to another individual who is currently on a computer that's there. It's like a little laptop that's contained within what looks to be a Militech case. And they seem to be getting frustrated as they're tapping away at the keyboard.
Okay. I think with my agent, I can relay that to everybody, correct?
Yes. Do you have an internal agent or is it an external agent?
Let me double check, because knowing me, it could go either way. External.
External. So you can kind of contact your agent. You do have to speak aloud, or you can just text to the group.
I think I'm texting.
All right. So what do you say to the others as you're up there?
3 in here, 1 on laptop, seems frustrated with it. I think I'm very curt with my messaging for missions.
Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this information. Hal, thoughts? What happened to Badger? Do we see you, Badger? Like when you're
Badger's just like
what do you look
crouched.
like?
Yeah, I would have like tapped you guys on the shoulder and pointed over to the port. And I'm there. I have my kind of like mask on. And you see like his cyberdeck is like this small kind of like laptop from like 1995, like as seen in the critically acclaimed movie Hackers. And it is kind of like electric blue with pink kind of like accents with stickers, and you see a main sticker there, which is a kind of like skull with like a blue bob with like bones. It just says the Mox over there. Yeah, he's just like typing away. I guess like I would get that on like my overlay, and I would also message like understood to checkmate.
Do you have like a group chat? I imagine.
Yeah, you have like a little group chat that you can kind of message each other in.
Okay.
Ghost just sends like a little check mark emoji.
What? Understood what? What are we checkmarking?
Are you
Found our
saying this out
target.
loud, or are
Oh,
you typing
quietly.
this confusing? Okay.
Oh, it's just saying out loud quietly, mostly for like Hal and maybe Badger's benefit.
Yeah, I'm probably also gonna type that found camera infrastructure about to engage and infiltrate.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
so I think you get you kind of move down those levels. It's very quick as you kind of run through them, and you do get into the area where you do see the skunk patrolling. The two of you lock eyes. The skunk kind of gets up onto its back hind legs and just T-poses against you. I would like you to roll me an interface check. It's basically a little gremlin like neurodivergent stance to you. Please roll me your interface.
So
As
4
well as
plus
rooming
4.
your speech check. 4
Yes.
plus 4, so an 8
Eight,
altogether.
yeah.
Perfect. The skunk is also going to roll. Got a 5 on its speed. So you are going first.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I'm gonna hit it with a banhammer. Because it's not in black ice, right?
It's anti-personnel black ice.
Oh, so it's black ice. So I'm just gonna use sword then.
Okay.
So
So
we're
what is your
not
digital-
necessarily familiar with, like, what does that mean?
So these are programs, and each program attacks different types of programs. Black ice is what you call as a defender program, kind of like minions. So certain programs don't affect them. So I have both banhammer and sword. Sword is the one that will probably do something. But yeah. So do I do an interface roll to attack with sword?
Yes, and you get a +1 because that's what sword kind of offers you as well. The skunk
nice.
will roll. Ooh,
8 plus 4 plus 1, so that is a 13.
it got a 14.
Unfortunate.
So you see, as you take, what does your sword look like in the digital space?
So you see, so the honey badger kind of like evolves into a pocket monster. And you see that it looks like a dirty version of Surfetched, but a badger instead of a duck. And you see it's a leek sword and a leek shield.
Beautiful. Incredible. So you take this leek sword, and as you go to hit this digital skunk, it kind of like backbends out of the way, so it goes over its chest as it just kind of matrixes out of the way. You do have 2 more actions, though. You can't use sword again, as you've already used it once. But you can attack with either your banhammer or you can use zap, which is kind of the standard attack for.
I'll try it with banhammer then.
All right.
Oh, that's a 10. So does that do I roll again?
Yes, you do.
And that's a 1 on the
That's
second
okay. That's 11 plus 4, so that's gonna be 15 against its 5 defense. So you do hit.
one. Okay. And it says does 3d6 res to a non-black ice, or
So it'll be
2d6.
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So roll me 2d6 for that damage against digital skunk.
That is a 11.
An 11. So you see, as kind of the various digital pieces that were previously holding together the skunk kind of jumps up briefly and seems to almost turn towards whatever screen there was. Its eyes go very wide, it flaps its little arms from side to side, and it just sinks down into the floor. It's wah 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 as you have defeated the skunk.
I do a kind of like a Mario jump. And then I'm just gonna run towards the camera infrastructure.
Yeah. So you run towards the camera infrastructure. It's currently not manned. No one's here who's protecting it. So you're able to easily kind of access the nodes that are there. And you see there's 3 different cameras in here that are kind of pointed down. And you see one of the cameras does look to be panning over where the group, most of the group is currently standing. As you pan through, you see, you kind of get a total of about 7 enemy combatants that are in this area right now. And there's also another camera, a third, that seems to be pointing away, kind of almost observing, potentially who's coming in, but from the opposite area that you entered from.
Okay, nothing that's directed to where we are, correct?
There is one that's directed to where you are. Yes.
So that one, if I can use my action to move it away, like swivel it to somewhere else, and then message everybody of 7 combatants. And this is up to you if I have enough time to do it. I want to send them a picture of each of the combatants as to where they are through the
Yeah.
agent.
No problem. So the group of you receive messages. 3 are, of course, where Checkmate is. You see the other 2 who seem to be up on that scaffolding who were talking with one another. There seems to be another who's currently getting some gear together kind of in a very tucked away corner of this space. And you see a final one. They look a lot very muscle bound kind of individual. Has shaved sides. They seem to have a very long kind of hair on top that's braided down their back. And they are seemingly just kind of leaning against the kind of this rock facing wall on their agent currently. They're not really paying attention to anything going on. They don't seem to have any sense of immediacy in here, besides the person who's currently on the computer. But as you're kind of looking out, giving the information, the overwatch, Hal and Lavender, you get this information, and what would you like to do with it?
So, are we taking them out? I thought we were here to grab something, but I really wasn't listening to the beginning.
Am I right in saying that we probably want the laptop that person is?
Yes.
Yeah. Given the pictures that I've received, is there like any place that I could tell that would make a really good spot to like get eyes on as many people as possible for like with the sniper rifle?
Yeah, you see that that first kind of shipping crate that you saw coming in on the left-hand side. No one seems to be up there as far as the cameras could tell. So you could potentially get in there and get a good kind of nest going.
Where is Ghost?
You haven't seen Ghost.
So to the group chat, Hal will write out, I have a good shot. Ghost, what's our next move?
The message doesn't come in just yet, before they finally message back saying, we can take him out, or we can grab and go.
Thank God this is in writing. I finally know what we're doing. Okay.
And so you, I'm guessing, move up to the sniper kind of rest, finding your place, securing it. Checkmate. Currently outside the window, you're seeing someone root around in a box before they seem to get up and stretch. They're like, I'm gonna be right back. Don't worry, I'll be back in a sec. And they seem to kind of leave the area, just leaving the 2 who's one working on the computer, one leaning against the window. They seem to kind of move over and kind of lean over the laptop themselves, and the 2 of them are trying to work out what the hell's going on here.
I think I send a message to Hal. Do you have a clean shot on one of them?
Do I have a clean shot on one of them?
I would say yes. You kind of move around in the space, you set up your sniper rifle, and you're able to get an angle where you're looking at the person who's currently on the laptop, clicking away. But yeah, you can see them through the window.
They just respond back perfectly.
I think I send everyone smash and grab with a question mark.
If once I get that, in the infrastructure, is there a place where I can control the lights in this place?
I would say, yeah, you kind of back out of the node, and it's on the next level down is kind of the light controls.
Okay. I'm gonna go into that. Is it password protected, or is there like any black ice or anything?
Mm-hmm. You do see in this section, there doesn't look to be black ice, but it is password protected. So if you want to roll me another interface check to see if you can backdoor.
Yeah,
through this.
I'll also use Worm then to help with my
Nice.
backdoor. That's 7 plus 4 plus 2.
Yeah, you're easily able to kind of get into the lights. You see there's various kind of light controls. They're very sparse. It's not anything like super advanced, but it does the trick. It's not very deep architecture.
Is there like a light that can draw attention away from Checkmate?
As you kind of look around, there is a light that's currently above the two people who are joking around and palling around with one another.
Yeah, but is there like a
Hovering
light
down.
maybe a little farther, like not behind them, but like maybe like something that will call their attention, at least one of them, away?
Yeah,
Like a
I'd say there's
blinking
one in the
light?
corner.
I'm going to flicker that one. Actually, before I do it, I'm just gonna send it to Checkmate. Distraction incoming.
I send back a check mark.
And just for my clarity, you're trying to distract one of the people who are in the room with the laptop, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So as you flicker this light, you see the person that's kind of leaned over helping kind of look and say, I don't know, something's fucked up about this. One sec. And they seem to kind of push themselves off the desk and they start curiously making their way over to the light. You see them kind of look up at it and kind of jump a few times to try and smack it. They can't reach. It's very high up.
Mhm.
I think at that I send Hal a message now.
All right, Lavender Rust, let's jam. And I'm gonna take the
Over it.
shot, baby.
All right. Can you please roll me? So you're using shoulder arms in this
Yep.
case. Roll me your shoulder arms, please.
Okay. Will you tell me how to do that again?
Yes, of course. So if you're rolling, are you using real dice or using digital dice?
Real dice.
Okay. Roll me a d10, please, and then on your skills section, under ranged weapons, there is the shoulder arms, and you have
Got a 4 in it, I believe.
yes, you do, but it's 4 plus 7, so you have I think an 11 base.
Nice.
Yeah.
11 plus 6.
Nice. The shot goes off, and it is loud. It's like a swift crack as it shoots its way through the window directly across. Roll me 5d6 for your damage, please.
Oh my god.
I'm just
Yep.
gonna go onto the online dice roller for that. Don't worry about it. Let's see. That is 17 total.
Woo.
Did you turn him to a fine mist?
They are hit, I would say, square in the shoulder. Checkmate, you see them go backwards in their chair, tumbling over. They're holding onto their wound and starting to scream at this point.
I think
Nice.
I'm immediately jumping through the window.
You smash the window, jump inside. The laptop is open for you. You see the person who's, before looking at the light, they turn around and go, "What?" And the person on the floor is screaming just out their lungs right now. But you're able to kind of snatch that laptop, smash it closed, and grab it.
I think on the way out, I yell, and I think my voice is, if I can distort it a little, I feel like I just like wear a mask that like distorts it slightly for work. I think I yell, "Save your friend. It's not worth it."
As you say that, I would actually like you, real quick, to make a persuasion check.
There's one thing I'm not. It's a people person. But I'll do my best.
What? You?
Okay, it's better than I thought. A critical success.
That's a 24.
Yeah.
Woo.
Holy heck, and charismatic. People and all around.
I think that the person across will just kind of look at you with wide eyes before moving over to their friend, and they say, "I don't take what you want. It's fine. Just go." They like start putting pressure on their friend's wound.
I think I'm already out. and I think I yell into my agent, hit all the lights.
And then I'm just gonna kill all the lights.
Yeah, you kill all the lights. Chaos has already started to erupt in this area, the shouting that's going on. You crank all the lights down to nil. Lavender, what are you doing in this moment?
Well, I was near Hal, who was using a sniper to shoot the one near the laptop. I kind of get the vibe that everybody's pretty far away. I'm a pretty close range individual. I got some tear gas. I've got a pistol. But I need them to be like, within 20 to 30 feet.
I will fully say your unfortunate wish is granted, as someone who was not previously seen from the cameras kind of comes out from a little like bathroom area, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Immediately pulling up their gun towards you. Hal, you're kind of crouched over your sniper rifle. Thankfully, Lavender's there, as this person swivels their gun around to you, but you do get to act first.
Okay, so I have a heavy melee weapon that I have not yet designated yet. I'm gonna sit on that one because I'm not too sure what I want to do with it, and we're just gonna use the heavy pistol. It's probably like ridiculously ornate, heavier than it has to be. It's got like gilding, but incredibly functional, despite how ostentatious it looks. So if I understand, click that.
That's a 25.
Oh, yeah.
As you bring up your pistol, it is a very heavy pistol, and aim it at this individual and shoot. So you are going to roll for damage. This is going to be 4d6 for this one.
That's 14 damage.
14 damage. You see it hit into their shoulder. They don't seem to fall just yet. It seems like their armor kind of absorbs a lot of the impact from the bullet, as they seem to have just Kevlar. They do rocket back, bashing into the wall, kind of rolling a bit, before they pull up their weapon towards you. Badger, as you're currently in the architecture, you get kind of this alert as you'd previously engaged the node for the camera, and you get a movement alert on that third camera.
Coming from the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let people know, and is there like a door by that area?
By the opposite area?
Yeah.
It's just a cavern.
Oh, it's just a
wide
cavern.
open cavern.
I know what I'm gonna do. Are there lights that are lined in that direction?
There are indeed.
I'm gonna overload those lights, turn them like max until they pop, if it's possible.
Of course, yeah, you just crank these lights up, and as they get brighter and brighter, they do explode. You can all hear the shattering noise kind of over
Before
this
I do
cacophony.
Yeah, before I do it, I'm gonna like message the agent for everybody, flashbang incoming, and then just do that.
Just as the entire thing crashes out. This area is dark at this point, and I think once you shoot that individual Lavender, that's when lights go down. The group of you are completely cloaked in darkness. Do any of you have the ability to either see or are able to navigate through the dark? As you can see various EMP threadings, some like little emergency lights, but there's not much.
Because this cavern is wide, I think you guys hear a car. You might hear a van. If nobody has light, that's what I can be for.
Awesome. The lights of the van can turn on, headlights streaming into this cavern to kind of illuminate the shadowy, now very ominous area. And you all start hearing, it almost sounds like whizzing, just like as someone's coming along some sort of zip line. Checkmate. I'd like you to make me an athletics check, as kind of out of the shadowy darkness, you see a pair of feet just coming towards you.
I got a 13.
16. You narrowly kind of roll and dodge out of the way as it seems like one of these Raffins had kind of strapped themselves onto this cable, rode their way up, and tried to boot you in the chest, but you just narrowly avoid it, still holding onto the case. They jump off and they're like, "Come on, motherfucker!" as they brandish 2 pistols.
I think I pull my. Let me make sure it's a heavy pistol. Yep. I think one hand's still holding like the case. The other one just draws the heavy pistol. I really don't have time for this.
I don't have time for you to take our stuff!
I don't want to. I'm not going to argue. Can I just try to shoot?
Yeah, of course. You can roll your handgun.
Gotcha. I roll attack first, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. 17.
17 does hit. They do not have a high enough reflex to dodge, and that definitely makes the DV for hitting. You can then roll your damage if you'd like.
Ooh.
A 16. Very nice. Dealing 16 damage, there is a bit of a Wilhelm scream as they kind of go toppling over backward. But thankfully, they're still kind of strapped to the cable, and they just start sliding down.
Were they still alive?
Yes. They're still
Okay.
kind of kicking a bit.
My rate of fighters too, correct?
Yeah.
You have a very heavy pistol, or
It's a normal heavy. My
okay, so
RLS
yeah, you
is
get 2 attacks.
Yeah, I'm double tapping then.
All right.
That's a 16 to hit.
16 does hit.
And only 12 damage this time.
12 damage. There's another oof. As I would say, Badger, you're kind of lower down to the ground as you feel it almost feels like kind of rain pattering onto your head. This person slides back with a thump against the wall.
I think at that point I just keep moving my way to everyone else.
Yeah, you begin to move, going down the scaffolding. Lavender and Hal, you're in this room with this individual who has guns drawn on you. They pick themselves off the wall. They look between, well, they can't really see much, unfortunately, but they are going to try and attack one of you. See who they attempt to hit. IRL dice, let's go. The shot, you hear the shot go off and you hear shattering glass, but none of you feel the impact of the bullet to you at all. Hal, what would you like to do in these moments?
Well, I'm definitely using Lavender Rust as a body shield. Just straight up like standing behind you. And I think like over your shoulder comes the end of the sniper rifle. And I am aiming
for this.
Yeah. And I'm aiming specifically for the perineal nerve, which is right below the knee of this person.
Very nice. Can you make me, before you roll, can you make me a anatomy check, please?
Yes, I can. I am so excited for this. Okay. 16 total.
You know exactly where to hit. You know dead on exactly where to shoot. So why don't you roll me that attack? It's going to be harder because you are shooting a sniper rifle, but then again, you're pretty point blank.
Yeah. And it's close enough that I hope it does enough damage. Okay, so that is going to be 14 total that time.
A 14. I will say because you are so close, you do hit. So roll me that 5d6 damage. As it does hit into there, just below the knee there.
19 damage on that one.
19 damage. There is a scream and a sound of a break as you hear the thump as they fall to the floor. Lavender, your ears are ringing at this point. You just had a gun fired off right next to you.
I probably should have like turned off my cyberware ears or something.
It is just like it is that long
One of my earbuds.
Winnie.
Oh god, that was horrible. Try to configure it. Nope, still ringing. Reduce it. A little bit less ringing.
As you shot the shot, everyone's trying to get back to the van. You do hear from the opposite end of this cavern the sound of vehicles coming towards you. You can see their lights shining in that dark cavern.
Are any of them an ice cream truck?
Unfortunately, not an ice cream truck that's coming. It sounds big and heavy.
Oh no.
There's I'm assuming, a honk of a horn, potentially red.
You definitely see, like, on one end of the cavern, you can hear the trucks coming. On the other end where you entered, you hear, like, the horn lay down, and you can feel, like, the buzz, like, the vibration of a new notification in your agent. It says, left the car running. Are we done? Just point blank, are we done? And the lights are still there. Like, you could, if you look at the other side of the cavern, you can see kind of the headlights there. And anyone who could see in the dark sees just a very petite figure with like a heavy pistol, kind of trained to give you guys some backup in case anybody tries to follow you as you make your way toward me.
Goofy question.
Please.
From the camera, what do you call this? Infrastructure. Or actually, if this isn't a different infrastructure, there's Militech stuff there.
Yes, there is.
To assume that a weapons company would be manufacturing explosives, can I detonate them from the infrastructure?
Ooh. So these ones, they have not gotten time to hook them up to the infrastructure, but potentially you could take them with you.
Okay.
If you want.
If there's something near me, I am gonna jack out of the infrastructure. And I am gonna take... Yeah, I'm just gonna take a few. Like...
Yeah, there's some various explosives that you've never seen before. These are definitely new tech. They seem to almost glow as you touch them.
Okay. I'm gonna take at least like 2. And I'm gonna run back towards the car, and because this is a kind of like a cavern, I'm gonna set them on each side of the cavern, so when we leave, hopefully it detonates and causes a collapse.
Hell yeah!
Like, do I need a structural check or something to figure that out?
I would say in this case, could you make me a demolitions check, please?
Oh, okay.
Technique.
Awesome.
It is under technique? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's +7. 8 + 7, so that's 15.
Very nice. So you slap these charges and you're able to position them so they're not going to explode as soon as you put them down, because you don't know how to work these things, but you're able to carefully slap them down on the walls and they seem to stick. As you begin running, you feel a thump as you crash into a hard body, almost kind of sending you sprawling backwards onto your butt. And you look up and you see that very strong, buff individual that you saw before, kind of looking down, looming over you, saying, "Are you trying to steal my things?"
Is this the one with the braid?
Do they have a weapon?
They have their fists, and they're weapon enough in themselves.
All right, I'm gonna kick them in the face.
All right, make me a brawl check, please.
I have martial arts to that too.
Hell yeah, roll me martial arts.
Okay, 7 + 7, 14.
A 14, and they only got a 13. So how does it look like as you're on the ground previously and you end up jumping up to kick them in the face?
So this kid studied Aikido. So, kind of anticipating that he's gonna get grabbed, he's going to grab the arm and just elbow in the face.
Yeah, you throw an elbow. What's your body?
My body's 5.
I think you have at least 2d6 to your
Ooh.
damage here.
That's an 8.
8 damage. It doesn't have too much of an impact, potentially a bruise that's left, but there is not much movement that you see in them. And as they're about to kind of bring a fist down on you, you see they stop for a moment, jutting forward. Before you hear, it sounds like this kind of slick, wet, sliding motion as they seem to crash down to their knees and fall over as Ghost stands behind them and says, "Nice kick. Let's fucking go." And you start running. I'm guessing the rest of you kind of run down, are able to sprint. Is there anything anybody wants to do before hopping into these vehicles?
I imagine Hal is not super fast, so I imagine they're probably the last one in. And they're definitely like peeking over their shoulder to try to see if they can tell who it is coming down these tunnels in those cars.
It is hard to tell because there's so much darkness. You can make me a perception check if you like to try and peer through the darkness, and try to gauge maybe some ornate decorations. 17. So you see emblazoned on the front of these vehicles is the Militech logo.
Ooh, no.
Time to go as fast as we can.
You're the final one to jump into the van, slide in the door close as Red, you begin to reverse out of this cavern and start to pull back and pull away, making a quick 3-point turn. There are just a stream of headlights now. It looks to be probably 4 or 5 vehicles that are coming out of this other cavern area and chasing down towards you. And as you pass by, you start to beat feet out of this cavern. I'd like you make me one more demolitions check, please, Badger.
Oh.
Yes.
It's not that great. It's 4 plus 7.
4 plus 7.
That's an 11.
Okay. It's an 11. So all of you can feel the explosion rock through you as these charges are set off. You can see that pieces of the ceiling of this cavern are starting to fall down around you. One of them, a large one, bounces on the top of the ice cream van at the front, leaving a huge dent, and you see a little tiny trail of smoke starting to crawl out from below the hood.
Thank God I didn't bring my car.
Sure
There are
this
some.
ride is still not bumpy. We're kind of like getting rattled around in the back.
It is worse than ever as you're driving out of here. And as you kind of peer out the back, because there looks to be like a little window that you can see out of, and some windows on the side, out of the dust of what is left of that hole in the cavern, you do see one set of lights still pulling forward. And as you break out of the cavern, into the day, into the Badlands, you can see the sun beating down on you, the dust starting to kick up as you're being chased out of this cavern. That is where we are going to take a little bit of a break. Thank you everyone for tuning in so far. We are going to return within a few minutes to continue our Cyberpunk Red adventure. But thanks so much for sticking around. Make sure to get up, stretch, and do business where you do business. We'll see you soon. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Shattered Dawn, a Cyberpunk Red Let's Play. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around, and we are kicking back into it as we see the players driving as fast as they can in this little tiny rickety ice cream van. Everyone's bouncing around. If you're trying to sit down, it hurts. It hurts so much on your tailbone. As you're driving out of there, dust kicking up, you see that the large Militech truck that somehow bursted through, it has some little pieces of the windshield that are dented in slightly, but the glass itself hasn't quite shattered yet. You see that there's one person behind the wheel. They have this, what looks like a mullet and a very thick, luscious mustache with these solid aviators on their face, and they seem to kind of be jamming out. Beside them, you see someone with some sort of very large weapon that they're kind of picking up from the floor. It seems to be they can't really encompass the entire thing in their hands. And you see this bald individual kind of lean out of the window. And as you're looking through the window, you see that they're getting situated a rocket launcher onto their shoulder.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Fuck. Get down.
Could we drive faster? No. Oh, no. Okay, I'm just gonna. Yep, that's fine.
We work with what we have.
Oh, yep, that's totally fine. Totally fine. It's just a rocket launcher.
We've dealt with worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be okay.
Not in an ice cream truck, but sure. Fine.
So as you do have some windows you could potentially kind of smash out and lean out of if you would like. Checkmate, you have that case with you currently in your arms. I will say that you all can kind of act first in a sense as they're seemingly getting set up. Who would like to act first, and what would you like to do?
You know what? Good old Hal does the mental calculations of what it would be like to treat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people for explosive wounds, and what it would be like to try to take whatever shot this is gonna be. They land on taking the shot, and they use the butt of their sniper rifle to, again, just like heads down, beat, like just like 1-2 beat out one of the side windows, and they lean all the way out. And they are trying to line up a shot right on the radial nerve of the guy who has his own arms kind of out of the van, holding onto the rocket launcher, hopefully to make him drop it.
Very nice. Make me that anatomy check, please, to start out
Ooh,
with.
baby. It's the most important anatomy check of my life. Okay, let's do some math. 8. 22.
22. You seem to kind of hone in on that radial nerve. It's like almost seeming to pulsate for you slightly, like a little target that you can directly see. I'm going to say your DV for this shot is going to be a 17 to hit.
Okay. In that case, I think Hal's right eye kind of starts to like glaze over as like that target like actually like spins in their eye, and I do have cybernetics in my right eye with a targeting scope, which is going to give me a +1 to my aimed shots. So Hal is going to like kind of take that deep breath, steady, and I'm going to take the shot. Okay, that wasn't super high. Only a 15.
So I would say you are dead on the shot, but then you feel as you let the shot loose, the truck swerves slightly, bash against the side of the van. Unfortunately, shot going wide, it nicks across the truck that's oncoming towards you. Unfortunately, missing the person who's setting up the rocket launcher.
Fuck, Red, I can't shoot like this!
No, I know. I'm doing my best.
Red, can you roll me Moto check? Moto?
Yes,
What I call Moto?
can.
Moto.
That is 7 on top of... That's a 25. Because I believe it's my drive land vehicle plus my moto, yeah?
Yes, it is. You steady this vehicle so nicely. You find that groove in the road, that groove that you drove up on, and all of you feel that rough bouncing nearly stop. It's a smooth ride now, almost as smooth as driving on kind of the upper class area within Night City. It is nice.
You're welcome, Lavender.
So this is an ice cream
thanks.
truck. I would assume that the back has like a window or a door.
It does indeed. Has a window and a door.
I'm gonna smash the window. And I'm gonna take 2 smoke grenades. And I have a tech bag. I don't know if there's duct tape on it.
We'll say yeah. Why not?
And I'm gonna if I can make a tech check to basically make a makeshift smoke screen behind
yeah.
us.
Yeah, definitely. Make that basic tech check.
12 plus 7. That's 19.
Yeah, you're easily able to take the duct tape and start wrapping these smoke grenades together carefully so they're able to kind of slow release almost if you would like to hold it and just slow release to create that smoke screen as you're driving.
I was also gonna connect them to the back of the door. That's why I smashed the window.
Nice. Yes. So you kind of tie it off with duct tape and pull the pins if you would like, or you can hold and wait for everybody else.
It feels that Red can maneuver us with ease and kind of, I'm just gonna say I'm providing cover and I'm just gonna pull the pins so Red can do their thing.
Perfect. You all see kind of this this stream of smoke. It's slow at first before it expands, and it's just this large smoke stream that's covering your exit. Most of the vehicle behind you is obscured, though you can kind of see shapes moving around.
Before they get obscured, I kind of flip them the bird and pull the pins out and then go back in.
Love it. Yeah, you slide back in. Lavender, checkmate.
I think Lavender will look over to checkmate. So, you got anything?
I mean, we have smokescreen now. Should I try to look into this case and see what we can... Is there anything worth getting some info
you know
on?
what? How have we not looked into it yet? Open it right now.
Were we given any specific orders to like not inspect or look through this?
I don't think
Nope.
so.
You're given nothing. It was just
Okay.
get it.
All right, then might as well have a little bit of a finder's fee.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to go through this and crack it
I'm
open.
gonna hover over you.
Hell yeah. So you open up this case, and it's a laptop within that you can take kind of one of the neural cords that you have and plug it into the side. As you do, and you are embraced by the net architecture, what does net architecture look like for you?
I think. Have you played like Earthbound?
No.
You're fine. You're fine. Imagine like a very like 16-bit like old school JRPG, that has almost a sort of like a weirdness factor to it. I think there's like a lot of twinkling lights, just kind of like just going as like background as there's a little like 16-bit version of Checkmate in here.
Love that. So as 16-bit Checkmate enters the architecture, you look around and you see these kind of twinkling stars in the digital sky. And you see that there looks to be an entrance, what looks like a very beautiful castle that's here. These beautiful, different toned oaken doors to it. That's kind of the entrance to the architecture itself.
All right, I think I'm gonna enter it.
Yeah, you enter within and you see yourself in what looks to be a beautiful foyer. You see a little chandelier above your head. Looks to be candelabras that are everywhere, and there look to be 2 staircases that kind of curve up, and each go in a separate direction. So you have 2 ways that you can go currently in this net architecture, left or right.
I'm gonna go left.
All right. Are you doing any pathfinding to try and see what's ahead, or are you just
Yeah,
going
I'm gonna
straight for it?
pathfind.
All right. Roll me that interface check, please.
That is, oh boy, the worst. Was that the worst I could do?
That was the worst you could do. So as you are entering, you hear a booming voice come from above, seem to echo within the architecture itself, saying, "Welcome, welcome, honored guest. We are so happy to have you within our walls. Please proceed inwards. We are looking forward to greeting you."
All right, I've been made already. Great.
So you head up the stairs, going to the left, and in this case, you do have technically 1 action left. Heading into the net was 1, pathfinding was 2, and your 3rd action, you can move freely around the net architecture as you'd like. And as you get to the top of the staircase, you do look onwards into the next room, and you see what looks to be an armed guard that's there. They look to be you have encountered one of these before. They seem to be kind of sitting and staring towards the door, fully kitted out in this green, almost Icarus armor that seems to be kind of dripping and drooping forward. A large kind of eagle-like helmet atop their head, and 2 sets of arms. So they just kind of sit and stare towards the door that you are about to enter from. This, from what you can tell, is a ball run, which is not black ice. This is a daemon. This is a artificial AI.
Part of me really says I should leave. I need someone to tell me not to. I'm gonna.
You can rest easy knowing that Lavender is, keeping your body safe. He's just chilling, probably using, like, if you're sitting down, he's using your back as, like, a part of a chair, like, to lean my back up against. So, like, you're fine.
Okay. What sort of things do I have against a daemon?
So for you, for checkmate,
like
in
the answer's
terms
not a
of
lot.
your gear, insulated wiring, some hardened circuitry, you've got shield, which is always a good one. It'll stop the first successful non-black ice program that can deal damage to your nervous system, which would be this entity here. After it stops the attack, it will de-res itself. You can only have 1 program running kind of during that run. You do have Banhammer, which you can use, which will do 3d6 to the ball run, as well as you can use Hellbolt as well if you'd like to. That would do 2d6, and then Sword would do 2d6 as well.
Okay. I'm gonna Banhammer.
All right, you kind of step into the room and you see the ball run rise to its feet. It also seems to have 2 sets of legs as well, almost kind of crawling like a spider along the ground towards you. As it does, I would like you to make an interface check for your speed test to see if you go
Okay.
first.
Hey, interface. Can we be cool?
Please interface, please.
You got this.
I got a 10.
That's 10. Let's see. Ball run. It is not letting me. Did I not install that? Boo.
It fails. It fails. It just
It
doesn't.
fails.
Alright,
Sorry.
I think I win then, right?
Ball run. How dare this thing? I am just going to roll here. That's even. It's yeah, it got less than 3. It's you are very, very much faster than it.
Okay, then yeah, I'll banhammer. It's just 3d6, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's 12 damage.
12 points of damage. Let me just see here. No. Okay. Dealing 12 points of damage straight to this entity. It seems to take it seems to pause for a moment as you swing on it, but then it seems to come back and attempt to kind of shoot this Icarus bolt out of its hand towards you. And it will roll to zap. So that is going to deal 4 points, or sorry, that's actually, roll me interface to defend, please.
Okay. 8.
An 8. So it does hit. Fortunately, you do have that shield up, which does absorb 4 points of the attack. You have 3 points left of your shield. But you are safe from any sort of direct damage to yourself.
Okay.
So you are currently kind of engaged in this fight. What does your banhammer look like, by the way?
I think when I engage in battle, it switches to if you've played Dragon Quest or any RPG like that, where there's sort of big focus on the monster, and I think you get a big, like almost fantasy looking hammer just come down from the sky and like bonk it one good time.
There's like a ringing sound in the room as it reverberates through its entire set of armor. It kind of jiggles slightly as you hit it atop the head. But as you're engaged kind of in the fight, we pull back out. And Lavender, would you like to do anything before it's their go?
I mean, not really. I've got the van. Everybody looks really busy. I feel like I've got a really good job here protecting the team. What happened to Badger? Badger was doing something with grenades. So you're still present though. Okay. Yeah. No. I've got somebody to keep safe. I'm gonna make sure I could sit next to Checkmate, and it makes me feel like I'm really, really contributing. But mostly just looking at my nails and trying to not fall over because of this rickety ride.
You see Ghost is about to like crawl out of the window and just kind of like looks back at you and is like, "What are you doing?"
I'm protecting Checkmate.
From what? The threats are outside!
Yeah, it's from the stuff outside.
How? By sitting?
Oh, I don't do long range. And you want me to do this from like a car as well? An ice cream truck?
Yeah? Why
It's
not?
not a good look. It's not a good look. What if somebody sees me?
Who's gonna see you? Us?
Yeah?
Who else would see you out here? What, do you think we're gonna judge you more harshly for doing something than not doing something?
Yeah?
From the front seat, you hear a hiss. Eyes on your own paper, Ghost.
Yes, Red. Sorry, Red. Ugh. And Ghost just kind of like flushed face at this point before he just like crawls out of the window. All of you hear this like pitter pattering on the top of the van before you kind of looking out, Badger, through that window, through the smoke screen. You hear a big thump and then nothing as you see what looks like a silhouette jump from the top of the van to the truck following you.
Is that supposed to happen?
Don't worry about that. That's part of the plan, Badger. It's fine. Probably.
Fuck.
You keep doing you. You're doing something good, I think.
Okay.
And as Ghost has jumped over, through this smoke, there is the whistle as a rocket launcher is fired towards your van.
How do I
Fortunately,
dodge this?
let's have
Can I
some
dodge?
negatives. Yes, this will be you dodging specifically, Red.
Okay.
I would like you to roll me Moto again, please.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you set the difficulty value that this person has to accomplish.
18.
Okay. This might be bad. Depending on what I get.
Hopefully.
We'll see. I would like you to roll me one more Moto check, please.
That's 21.
21. All of you feel the van rock to the left, like it goes up onto two wheels. All of you are kind of forced to one side of the van. I would say for convenience sake, Hal, you kind of crash into Checkmate in this, and Lavender, you're able to grab onto Badger as he flies to the side. You feel yourself touch back down. It is precarious, but it seemed like the shot kind of hit to the side of the van, and just the pressure rocketed you upwards. No real damage was done to the van, thankfully, as you seem to kind of dodge out of the way. There's some shouting coming from behind, some hissing, as they seem to kind of start reloading.
Everyone's safe? Check in. What's up with Checkmate? Is they okay?
Let me shake them.
Please don't shake me.
Okay, no, they're good.
I'm dealing with bigger things in here than out there. Sorry, Red. You're doing big things.
Yeah, just be careful, all right? I mean, I can keep us safe out here, but you got to keep yourself safe in there.
Bigger than a rocket launcher.
I mean, right. What are you gonna do about that?
I don't
We just
fucking
got to
know.
be faster. We've got to be better.
Not Lavender being like, damn, this is rough. Good luck, everyone involved, not me.
Hope y'all are all right.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Just
Look,
hanging
there's
out.
things I'm good at, and it's not any of this.
Since you're all driving, it is the next round. You still have them on your tail currently. Who would like to go first?
Is there any form of like radio kind of like, can I maybe remotely connect to something in the car?
Sure. I would say you can kind of plug yourself in to the
Okay.
vehicle. Yeah.
Interface, that is a 14.
Yeah, you're able to easily kind of interface with the van itself, plugging in your virtuality into kind of the dash.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What would you like to do?
Within the infrastructure, can I deregulate the speed somehow? Is there anything that controls the speed, like or like the brakes, like to disengage the ABS, like the anti-brake system, and make them unstable in this like sandy area of the Badlands.
Oh, sorry, the other truck. You know what? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, so you're trying to disable the ABS on the enemy's truck, just
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So, I would say, as you're kind of going in to the architecture, you see that it's fairly sparse. It's very clean, even for a Mario level. There's not a lot here that you can see, but you're able to kind of move down the architecture, and you do find what looks like kind of controls. It doesn't look very well defended because nobody really expects to connect to the architecture of a truck.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna disengage the ABS so they're unstable in this like Badlands kind of like thing. As soon as I'm allowed to do that, I'm just gonna teabag and then like jack out.
Incredible. So you disengage the ABS, you jack out of the architecture, and you can see that the mass, that silhouette, is kind of swerving a little bit behind you. It's losing a little bit of ground. And as it does so, Hal
is gonna look at Lavender Rust and be like, Ghost needs a little bit of backup, don't you think? And Hal is gonna start pulling themselves out the window and climbing up onto the roof also, even though they're really not built for that.
All right. So you pull yourself up onto the roof. Your hair is whipping in the wind as it's just battered by sand, kind of being blown up. But you do see now that you're kind of over top, there is a bit of a smoke screen, but you can see the vehicle itself. And you can see Ghost is currently in the driver's side, like fighting against the driver right now. The two are just in fisticuffs, just brawling.
Try to help him out a little bit. You know what they say, the best offense is defense. Or, excuse me, the best defense is offense. So...
Perfect. So what would you like to do?
Hal lines up yet another shot with their sniper rifle. And they are like... I think it's a kind of patience. So they're almost like surfing on top of this van, right? Or they're like shifting back and forth. And they're waiting for like... either for Ghost to notice that they're there lining up a shot and like moving out of the way, or waiting until like they find the perfect moment to like get them.
All right, so I'd say you're taking the time to kind of line up the shot, and even with the swerving of the vehicle, you do end up finding that perfect second that you can shoot. All right, go ahead and roll to attack.
15.
A 15. So I'm going to say in this case, as I'm going to have Red see if we can get an assist in. Can you roll me Moto, please?
That is... Oh, that's pretty good, actually. That's a 26.
Nice.
26 to kind of help. I would say that will grant you a +4, making it 19. So you do end up kind of shooting. So roll me that 5d6 as the shot does connect to. Are you hitting? Sorry, the driver.
The driver, who Ghost
Perfect.
is kind of like in
Awesome.
fisticuffs with.
Heck yeah.
A handsome 17 points of damage on that one.
17 points. You see that the driver slumps as you shoot them, like straight dead in the chest. They seem to kind of slump over, and the vehicle starts to slow down a little bit, causing the person with the rocket launcher to kind of turn, realize what's happening, and start to try and go after Ghost. You see that Ghost kind of swings themselves up onto the roof of the truck. They look at the distance that's slowly starting to increase between the two of you, and there is a oh fuck kind of expression that passes over his face. He seems to be debating. He doesn't know what to do.
God, I hate that Hal is like this. Hal turns their rifle around and offers it kind of like a thing that he could grab onto, like at the end of the van.
Amazing. So Ghost begins to kind of run back a little bit on the roof. You see that other person is trying to crawl out of the window. They're a bit larger, so they're not able to fully fit. It's taking them a little bit longer to get out of the window, where Ghost takes that run and a jump to try and grab onto the butt of the rifle, which they do. And you feel yourself jostle forward, and they have to hold on. Their feet are on the edge of the back of the van, kind of holding on for dear life, looking up at you. It's these big eyes. Ghost isn't scared that often, but in this case, they do seem a bit afraid.
I would be too. I don't think that Hal has the reputation of being the strongest person in the room. And there's another shout, I think, like, Lavender, right now, please!
Lavs.
I think that's probably my call to go and help.
All right.
Try
How
to
would you
climb
like?
out the window.
Yeah, you're able to pull yourself out of the window again. Sand is getting all up in your face, all up in your clothes.
In my hair?
It's
Do you know how
very
long that's gonna
uncomfortable.
take to comb out? I'm gonna need like 3 people helping me.
But you do see that Hal is holding on to their sniper and and Ghost is holding on to the other end.
What is okay. I'm strong, I believe. Let me see. I just want to try and like pull Ghost onto our ice cream truck with Hal.
And roll me an athletics check, please. I'll give you a
That's a
+2
system.
since Hal is helping.
Okay, so it'll be that +2, 14.
14. It takes a bit. It takes both of you a lot of exerted effort, but you're able to kind of heave. And finally, on 3, you pull Ghost up onto the roof. All 3 of you kind of scatter backwards. Hal, Lavender, you're both on your backs, and Ghost is just like on top of the 2 of you, arms spread. Just
You
Thanks.
good? Yeah. Yeah, don't mention it.
Yep. And Ghost gets up and says, "Yep, don't mention it. It's fine. It's okay. It's good. Thanks."
We're still trying
You're
to
welcome.
hold on, like, balance, because this is a moving vehicle.
It's still fairly stable, thankfully.
Mm.
Thanks to Red. As we pan back inside, you are pulling farther and farther away. We go back into the castle, into the net architecture, with Checkmate versus the Ball Run. And Checkmate, you are going first still.
Beautiful.
You have 3 actions.
I think the first thing is I have to use something different from Banhammer this time, correct?
You can use Banhammer again. Only can use Banhammer once per round.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, you can use
And
it.
I will use it again. So 3d6 once again.
Roll your interface first.
Oh, okay.
As it does get a chance to defend.
Okay. That is a 13.
It rolled an 11, so you do hit.
Close. Okay. That is a 13 damage as well.
Very nice. So you see that Banhammer comes down from the sky, striking into the ball run again. Its defenses are getting weaker and weaker as time goes on. You're kind of really hammering through its defenses. You see 2 of its arms kind of almost like shut down a little bit, and its movements are a lot more sluggish as it's still coming towards you. The ichor kind of almost drooling from its body at an overflowing rate. You have 2 more actions.
Sword.
All
If I
right.
kill it fast, it can't hurt me.
Yep, that's the goal.
Do I have to roll interface again?
Yes, you do.
Okay. All right, that's 11.
It got a 10. Woo!
By the skin of their teeth.
Woo!
8 damage.
How do you destroy it?
I think sword. Once again, you get that very it looks to just steal wholeheartedly for Final Fantasy. It definitely looks like a limit break, which you get a bunch of extra unnecessary sword flashes and effects surrounding the thing before it just explodes in data.
Incredible. It is numerous slashes, very in quick succession, and the camera kind of pans as you dive through it, almost kind of landing. And in the background, we just see it explode into pixels. As you stand back up, you still have the net architecture ahead of you, but you realize the van is pulling farther and farther ahead. The chase is dying down. The vehicle has kind of come to a stop off to the side. It's taking a long time for them to get back up and running, but too long for them, but just enough time for the rest of you to start cruising off as you hop back onto the solid highway, beginning to drive back into Night City. You see those, again, various advertisements shooting up into the sky. You see for various soft drinks, different kind of new kibble products that taste just like the real thing. You see water, TM, that's displayed as well, as water is a brand. As you're cruising in, the roads get softer and softer and more easy to kind of sit and traverse on. The van itself, as you had picked this up specifically for this job, your fixer, Rene Dupont, had said that you had to take this as part of the job itself. This is none of your cars, thankfully, as it's a bit wrecked up now. Checkmate, you're able to take time and give me one more interface roll, please.
$13.
So you're able to kind of navigate with time. Doesn't take you too long, as you're highly experienced in kind of cracking through a lot of various softwares and different architectures. And you finally make it down to the bottom level of this architecture. It seemed that the Balron was installed potentially to control various different nodes that might be attached to this particular architecture, but as it was disconnected, there wasn't much left to it. Get to the bottom, and you see that there are some notes that are down here. They are also encrypted. Seems to be some sort of schematics for a new weapon that's currently on this drive.
Can I try to break through the encryption?
Of course. Do a backdoor. It's going to be fairly difficult.
I'll do my
As
best.
this one seems pretty solid. But go ahead and roll me interface.
Another 13.
13 takes you some time, but you eventually do crack through, and you see it's just lines and lines of various coding before you pull up the schematics, and you see what looks to be some sort of, it looks like some sort of EMP weapon, some sort of very specifically targeted EMP pistol that's good for taking out very temporarily someone's cybernetics. It seems like this was currently in the works.
Is there any way I can copy this information and pull it out?
Yes, you can. I think this is, it's not ID. There's another move that you can do, essentially, but you are able to kind of copy a set of the file to your own kind of chipware. And you are at the bottom of the architecture, so if you want to set anything down here.
Oh, I thought about it, yeah.
A virus, do you want to cloak yourself, your signature?
I definitely want to leave a virus and cloak it so they don't know it was me, and just if I could re-encrypt it.
Of course. Just to
Because,
a brand new encryption?
The old one. So if they need it cracked, I can always just offer to take a look at it for a couple extra creds.
Yeah, of course. Is there anything else that you'd like to do inside the net architecture before you go, besides re-encrypting and cloaking?
Do I want who is our buyer?
Your buyer, or at least your fixer, is Rene Dupont. You don't know exactly who the buyer is, though. But they, according to Rene, pay well and are trustworthy. But you don't need to know the details.
It's not my place to decide whether or not what they do with it. I just need to make sure if they need it that badly, they're willing to pay us for a second round. So I'm just re-encrypt it and cloak so they don't know I did that.
Roll me one more interface check, please. Try to cover your tracks.
A 9. Way less bad, or way less good.
Okay, that's all right though. So you're able to, as far as you figure, cloak yourself pretty well, and all your movements that you didn't hear before, kind of pulling out of the net architecture. And by the time you do, the group of you are back at your little hideout that you have. Your hideout is kind of in the glen. You currently are staying in kind of this, if you would like to kind of stay there, it's mostly where you organize your operations. It's a quaint little house owned by a lovely older woman named Esther, a Hungarian lady. She's very sweet, very kind, loves to bake everybody cookies. And if anybody likes to teach them various bits of embroidery. She mostly operates on the main floor, while you all have kind of the second floor loft to yourselves. And you pull in with this very kind of a rickety van into the driveway, and you see Esther in her little rocking chair. She uses she, her pronouns, and she's kind of sitting on her balcony. She's got a little needlepoint, a little disc in her hands, and she's currently just kind of doing some needlework. And she looks up as the group of you exit the van and says, "Oh, another job?"
Yeah. And we even have somebody new. Oh gosh, what did your... It was like raccoon... Badger. Their name's Badger.
And when you point to me, I rush to my car, which is a Renault 5 Turbo, and I just like, oh, I missed you. I missed you. And just like rubbing the hood, it's like this like neon blue and orange car, like mini compact.
So you kind of gently caress the car, and Esther looks at the group of you and says, "Well, just make sure not to get blood on the carpet again, please and thank you.
Yeah.
You've got a little on your face." Points to you, Badger. And Badger's got blood just running down his cheeks.
Ah.
Shoes
gross.
off,
Don't worry,
kit to the
Esther.
side.
There's
It's
a
not
hose
our blood
somewhere.
anyway.
I want to go use that.
I think, yeah, Red shows you to like the side, like right next to kind of the pulley system to get up into this little hideaway. There's kind of like a bin for clothes and shoes. It just says like dirty on the front. And
First
there's
video.
like, yeah, there's like some like, there's like a hose. It's very simple. It's very rudimentary. Better amenities upstairs, but just like to get the ick off of you.
Badger's getting hosed like in Pulp Fiction. Just like,
Yeah.
Turn around. All right.
If this doesn't happen, it just means that you had a shitty time, right?
I guess.
Or you don't like to get dirty?
We
I-
can't all be as fabulous as you, Lavender, all right?
Thank you. Thank you.
This is my first time on the field, so yeah, it's kind of weird. Icky.
You didn't do bad.
Initiation.
And he turns to Ghost and is like, thanks back there. I
Yeah.
would have been
Of course.
toast. Yeah.
I think it would have been fine. He's the one hosing you off
Yeah.
currently. Hey, it would have been fine. Great.
Red touches his shoulder and looks up at him, because he's much taller than them. You're great. Thanks for always having my back.
The blush again flushes across Ghost's face and says, yeah, of course, I'm always gonna have your back, Red.
Such a great teammate. Just turns away and looks back over at Badger. Do you need anything? I'm gonna head up, you guys. It's been a lot today. I don't know how to explain to Renee this piece of shit got shittier.
No, I'm good. I got some clothes in the car. I'll just chuck these in the washer when I get the time. You see he's like sopping wet, just like squeak, 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 like walking
You
to
can take
his
care
car.
of that upstairs if you don't want to get your shit wet.
No, it's fine. It'll be fine.
Go dry off. And like I throw a towel at you.
Mm-hmm.
Just like dry off.
I look at everybody
think-
else. Tough. We'd like to see it.
I think Hal comes up beside Checkmate, this kind of like an angry ghost that suddenly appears. Like, watches this whole thing between Red and Ghost, like, very carefully, the whole thing with Badger getting hosed down, and just kind of goes, "You really let the kid do a lot of the net running for you today. How generous of you."
Kid has to get some practice. And plus,
Correct.
I did the heavy lifting, and I just like gesture towards the case.
Right. Who was it that was covered in blood again?
Yeah. Are you really gonna do this?
Do what?
We got away pretty easily. Barely anyone got shot. I think that's a win, and you still need to make it an issue.
What issue? I lost 5 bullets.
Do you really need? Do you need me to pay you back for them? Are you that pressed for money now?
And Hal gets this kind of like sour look on their face, like they wanted this to be easier, and it's not. No, I don't need you to pay me back. But maybe a thank you every now and again for always making sure that your getaways were clean would be nice.
Oh, I can do that easy. Thank you, Halo. Also, you should maybe say sorry for crashing into me earlier. Didn't make the demon I was dealing with easier.
You can ask Red for that apology.
You're always a delight. Bedside manner. You really should work on it. And I think I'm probably going to, check in with everyone and probably go head my own way back home afterwards.
As you can head off, Checkmate, Hal, you are getting a phone call.
Oh,
Your agent says, "Hey, there's someone who's calling right now. That person, I forget their name. I know it's in your contact details, but I forgot to read it."
you want to go and get me that actual file before you start bothering me?
Okay, but it seems really important.
Put the line through.
Okay. And as the line comes through, it is your contact from Biotechnica, Mr. Sunshine. And you hear his voice on the other end saying, "Hal, how are you doing?"
Quite well. Just finished up a job. What can I do for you?
I'm wondering if you have time to meet.
Plenty of time.
Good. Usual spot. 2 hours. And hangs up. No other details.
Hal puts their phone away like it is the most normal conversation in the world. Red, I'm gonna head out a little bit early. Don't wait up.
You're right. I saw that before. I couldn't hear you, but... You and Checkmate, are you alright?
Why wouldn't we be alright?
I mean, a lot has happened.
A lot happens to everyone every day.
I know you don't bring your work, your outside work, to work with you. You don't bring your personal shit to work with you. And you know that's something I admire about you. I'm not criticizing, but I'm here. We can talk.
You're busy, Red. Talk to the kid. They need it more than I do.
All right. I'm not gonna stop asking.
No, you really never do, don't you?
You can kind of see the look on their face is still very stoic, but behind their eyes is like a little bit of a knowing pain, commiserating with you, sort of searching your face for any clues of how you might actually be feeling.
It's like looking into a well, where you know eventually there has to be an end. Like, there isn't really ever such thing as a bottomless pit. But there's like a moment where if you suspend your disbelief enough, there is maybe the thought that crosses your mind, maybe it does just keep going down and down and down because there's no possible way of seeing the bottom.
They reach out a hand. Her hand is very petite, and just as it kind of gets to your shoulder, like the side of your arm, they kind of like just look a little deeper at you and then pull back. I'm here when you're ready.
I have no idea what you're talking about and how it goes.
You head off, and as Hal heads off, Lavender, you get a reminder from your agent, like, hey, I just kind of want to remind you that you have a concert in like 3 hours, and I really think that you should get there because you're already 2 hours late.
What
I scheduled for fashionably late.
Yeah, no, that's right, I think.
Yeah.
Where is this one again?
It's at Totentan's.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay.
You're wild.
Good, cool, yeah, totally. Hey, y'all, I'm heading out. It's been a blast. I know I did most of the heavy lifting today, but, you all did okay. I'll talk to you later.
I think as you kind of make your way to leave, Red catches up with you. Hey, you know, you were great supporting the team today.
Yeah.
Lots of support.
Obviously.
Tons of support. Very supportive.
Uh-huh. Is this a compliment? Are you telling me how great I am?
Just, break a leg tonight, and, you'll know when it's time.
Yeah. Sure. I don't think I like support. How about, like, assistant leader?
Like I said, you'll know when it's time.
Alright, have a good night. I'm heading out.
They roll their eyes at you so hard. Like, she's, like, really trying to connect. And just,
I
like,
can hear the eye roll.
break a leg. Have a good night. Have a good night.
Yeah. See you later.
Lavender heads out for the night. It seems like most folks are kind of spreading out, doing their own thing. Checkmate leaving, Hal leaving, Lavender leaving. Badger, do you stay or do you go?
Badger checks. So Badger, when first hears Lavender like late for a gig, was going to speak up and say, "Hey, do you need a ride?" Then hears Totentans and's like, can't. Just can't. Don't want to die. So, basically, kind of checks their, agent and see who's, working at Lizzie's.
You check your agent and you actually have a message currently. You see that it's from you see that it's from Judy Alvarez saying, "Hey, I got this preem brain dance if you want to come on over. Check it out."
And I kind of like message like none of the big sisters are there, right? Question mark.
There's a ellipsis. Well, they're in the office right now. I can sneak you in the back.
Cool beans. And then just like kind of like a emoji of like kind of like with the deal with it shades. And just like kind of like, you know, gets ready. And as I notice that people are about to leave, looks around and is like, points to Lavender and is like, "Does anybody else need a ride?"
I have
Nothing
something like
personal, Lavender. Like I just can't be seen around Totentans.
Okay, well, I can't be seen around you, so whatever.
It just like gives you like a thumbs up and just looks to the others.
Ghost says, "I'm gonna stick around for a bit longer. Probably do the meetup with Renee."
Hal? No?
I'll make my own way.
Check. All right.
I'm good. You did good today though. Just wanted to.
Gives like a stern like with a left hand, not even with a right hand, like a salute. And just like cool. And you see like he's now dressed in like a kind of like these dirtied, oily kind of like jumpsuit, repairman's jumpsuit. And I just like get in and I'm just gonna head over to Lizzie's.
Okay, so you hop in, so you're driving away. Panning back to Checkmate, where are they going?
I think Checkmate lives in like a mega building. I think not in Pacifica, but nearby Pacifica is generally like their stomping grounds. So yeah, I think they just go ride a rail, head that way, and just this is the energy they get. I think when they deal with Hal for a little too long, and I think they just listen to an audio recording on the way home. It's sweet. It's nice. It sounds almost garbled in a way of like this is definitely something that was like had to be sort of taken and pieced back together and is not like a clean audio rip. But it's like I think the core of it is I love you. It's gonna be okay. Is I think the last things you hear from that recording.
You head home on the rail, and just with that, "I love you. It's gonna be okay," kind of on repeat. Sliding into your email that you don't fully notice until you're almost all the way home. It is an email from Dita, just saying, "Dinner."
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, I had a job today that worked up an appetite. I'll be over soon. Let me just get cleaned up a little.
And you see that she sends you a video message, and it's currently of themselves and their partner Rec kind of in the kitchen, just cooking together. You see they're both wearing matching aprons. The two of them are kind of dancing in the kitchen. It's a little like 6-second, like happy kind of snippet of what you're going to expect when you arrive there.
I think I reply both with like a very happy for you like emoji, like this is very cute, and then like immediately one that sort of just looks like ugh eye roll of this is too cute for me personally.
You start getting bombarded by both Rek and Dita of cute photos and videos of the two of them together just to annoy you. It is overwhelming your agent as they send. And as you kind of sit there like, oh my god, pan back out as we traverse across the city and we venture over to I will say in the near the NorCal military base. See heading out there, this underground bunker, the silhouette of Hal as they start making their way down steps. A familiar meeting place with Mr. Sunshine that you have met with before. And as you see the fluorescent bulbs, these walls are this kind of very dull but stark blue color. Stainless steel, very clean tables that just lined up in the room. It is ominous, and you hear this like slight buzzing overhead as you get down there. So you see the outline of an individual, masculine, wide shoulders. They have their hands behind his back. Long, kind of this dark, sandy brown hair. So you hear that deep voice again saying, "I have a job for you, Hal." And as that happens, as you are down there, everyone's off doing their own little thing. That is where we will end tonight's session. And thank you everybody for tuning in to Cyberpunk Red Shattered Dawn. I have of course been your GM Matihi, aka Piper. Thank you again so much, and thank you to my absolutely wonderful players. This has been such a wonderful time. Been waiting for this for a while, and I'm so excited to continue on with our story. But let's go back through our lovely, lovely players in the same order that we went through before, starting with B.
Hey, hello all. My name is B Zelda, and I promise I'm not actually that mean in real life. The only way I can ever bully gently is as a character, because it just hurts my heart and soul to ever do it to I have to check in with everybody after to make sure I haven't hurt anybody's feelings. But if you want to follow my stuff, I am on Twitter as @B_Zelda. I'm the community manager for a indie game called Kitten Cup Studios. Nope, I don't know what it's called yet. Honestly, still working on it. Brand new, but yeah, follow me and figure it out with me.
Hell yeah, I'm so excited. And next up we have Dare.
Hi everyone, once again, my name is Dare, pronouns she, they, they. You can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet at Dare to Dream RPG. That is DARE, the number 2, DREAM RPG. I didn't look because I know you're going to do it, see? If you enjoy me playing someone who is doing super well adjusted, be sure to check in tomorrow on Tabletop Titties, where I am running and facilitating my lovely heartbreaking game When the Sun Dies, where if you want to see me be really normal and have a good fun time, that's not going to happen tomorrow, but I love that sort of pain. I love to cause pain and be the problem. So please check that out.
Hell yeah. And next up we have Fabian.
Howdy. Fabian here. You can find me here at Madhouse RPG, running a bunch of games. Tomorrow I'll be running Ashes of New Amsterdam, a Mage 5 V5 hack with a lovely cast. We have a special guest tomorrow, so if you want to check that out. And I'm gonna be alongside the lovely C on Friday, gonna be a vampire in the Lion's Den. Yeah, check me out there. And yeah, just give us a follow. and not miss any updates. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. And next up, we have C.
Oh wow, thank you so much. Hi everyone, my name is Cia, I use they them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at PieSharpArt. If you liked what I did here tonight, what is wrong with you, first of all? And second of all, you'll like what I do other places, because I'm, unlike B, I'm always like this. So you can find me pretty much all the time over on Transplanar RPG, which is, if you don't already know, an all-transgender person of color that 100% homebrew D&D 5th edition actual play livestream set in a non-colonial, anti-orientalist multiverse. We finished up our first main campaign, and we are currently running Godkiller one-shots every Saturday at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. This week, we are featuring B. Dave Walters as God and Miss Gina Darling as Godkiller. So if you want to see that power, like that power clash happening live on stream, make sure that you tune in for that. There's lots of fun stuff coming up, so make sure that you're following Transplanar on Twitter to see all the cool stuff that we are coming up with in the future. And with that, that's me. That's it. That's my plug.
Hell yeah. And last but not least, of course, my lovely co-GM, Candace.
Hello, everybody. My name is Candace. I have been Red. My pronouns are they, she. You can find me at that Candace girl on Twitter, at Candace Magnificent everywhere else. You can find me on Tuesdays and every other Wednesday over at 12-Sided Stories, both streaming and podcast. And I am in a bunch of different places that are not my channel, so just, I guess, check me out on Twitter to see what I'm up to.
Oh yeah. Thank you, everyone. I forgot to plug myself. Piper, they, them pronouns. I'm switching from they, he because I don't feel like it anymore. Anyway, you can find me every other Saturday on my channel playing What We Do in the Shallows, a queer 5e pirate game with a bunch of gay shit, a lot of comedy, and horror. Very scary. But yeah, besides that, I do other things sometimes, but mostly I'm here and I'm there. But thank you all so much. We're going to be back next Wednesday, same time, same bat place, with more messy gay shit. Thank you all so much, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye. So I'll pass it back to Fabs if there's anything else, but
Nah,
here you go.
we're good. Bye.
Okay, bye.